Tom Ford Beau de Jour 2020 release. Is it really worth checking out? I'll let you know after this intro. What is going on, guys, and welcome again to another video. Yes, this is another review for another new release 2020 this time. Yes, I didn't mess it up. I know I'm really bad with this, but I promise you I didn't mess it up this time. Yeah. And in today's video, I'm really excited, guys, just to review another re-release of the House of Tom Ford. You guys know by now that Tom Ford, it is actually one of my favorite houses, if it's not my favorite house, honestly. I just love everything Tom Ford does, and every time they come out with a new thing, I get excited. Yes, I get butterflies in my tummy. But here's the thing, honestly, I wasn't really excited about this one as much. I know that it was gonna be quality, but seriously, this type of genre Beau de Jour is following, it's not my favorite. There's way too many fougere fragrances, but usually they came out like in the 80s or 90s or 70s even. Off the top of my head right now, there's Rive Gauche, which was an insanely popular fragrance in the 80s and 90s, and yeah, but honestly, and we are family here, guys, I wasn't a big fan of Rive Gauche for the longest time. I thought it smells like a barbershop, and I thought this is nothing really special for me. It smelled like you just had a clean shaved cut, which I don't usually get. So yeah, it's not my style at all until recently. And when I say recently, I'm talking about for the past 2 years or so. But here's the thing, even though I'm not a big fan of fougere fragrances, I just loved. It was a love at the first sniff of Invasion Bar by NDCI. It's an insanely crazy fougere type of fragrance that I really recommend to you guys, even though you don't like fougere fragrances, to try Invasion Bar out, especially when it comes to the performance and the smell on its own, and the compliment factor. Invasion Bar, it's the best, or one of the bests now. You already know where this review is going. And here comes today's review, which is Beau de Jour by Tom Ford. This fragrance actually, when it first came out, it came out in the Private Blend collection. I don't know about you guys, a lot of people consider Tom Ford as a designer brand, and I can totally see it, but for me personally, I consider Tom Ford the Private Blend collection. I usually add it on my niche list just due to the fact to its price point, but the regular collection, I usually consider it as a designer. I know it's not making any sense, but that's how I see it, and I know a lot of you guys see it that way as well. And when Tom Ford Beau de Jour first came out, it was niche. It was one of those collectible black bottles, and it was actually with a niche private blend price point. It was pretty expensive, yeah. At that time, I didn't smell it, to be honest. I didn't really care for it as much because I thought it was just another fougere, and I'm not that interested. But when they re-released it like a couple weeks back in like a cheaper, the designer version, that's what I always call it, I got interested. I just really wanted to smell that fragrance and to see if it's something I would like to purchase. My hopes were down. My expectations were down. I wasn't really expecting as much. I thought it was gonna be another fougere barbershop type of a fragrance, like something that you just go to a barbershop and you smell that. So I went there, smelled it, I loved it, and I just got myself a sample. I even loved it even more after like wearing it multiple times. If Invasion Bar, my favorite fougere fragrance, like bar none, this is pretty much a close second, honestly. But honestly, before reviewing this fragrance, I really wanted to smell the original Private Blend Beau de Jour, just to kind of compare them side by side and just wear the original like once or twice and see if there's a massive difference between the original pricing of a Private Blend to this one right here. And let me just tell you this, guys, and I've been like 100% honest here, they are pretty darn close. I thought the original Private Blend was definitely denser. and this one was slightly fresher and lighter. It smelled to me like this one, it's like an eau de toilette compared to the eau de parfum version. It's definitely the private blend one. It's definitely stronger, it's louder, and it lasted on me longer. But that's not an issue here, just because this one as well, I just don't know why I just keep on pointing down. This one just is pretty strong as well. This fragrance is lavender and lavender and lavender. It's all about the lavender here. The geranium is big here as well, especially when you first spray it on. Geranium usually it's a floral nuance that gives a somewhat of a minty note, and there's mint here as well, but honestly for me personally, I didn't know the mint I'm smelling here, especially when you first spray it on, is it coming from the actual mint note or from the geranium. And the herbal feel here, it's big, it's extremely herbal because of the rosemary and oak moss, and those are traditional fougere nuances that there are on pretty much every fougere fragrance, and they just remind me of the 80s. They actually do, and I'm being honest here guys, that's not a favorite smell to my nose per se. This fragrance is not dated that I can see pretty much anybody wearing it. I'm not talking about teenagers, I'm not talking about people in their early 20s. You have to be mature enough in your late 20s or in 30s and up to be able to rock this fragrance, to be able to really enjoy this fragrance. If you're younger, just skip this fragrance and go to the next one. Honestly, this is an expensive fragrance even though it's on the designer realm. This is a classy fragrance. This is a somewhat of a mature fragrance. Yes, I can see this fragrance suited best for work time. This is a great work fragrance, especially if you are like an executive or just you wear a suit, kind of like a CEO type of a fragrance in a way, or you just like you have authority. I can see other people, not me per se, having this juice on for a wedding or for a formal occasion, especially if they are older and mature in a way. Honestly, I don't think me personally I'll be able to rock this juice on a formal occasion and execute that very well. I'm just being honest, but for some people that would actually just like make him like way too rich in front of everybody's eyes. The third genre of people that I can personally see them nailing this juice on, English people in general, anytime, any age, it doesn't even matter. If you're English or you have an English accent, or no matter the case maybe, have this juice on and you're good to go, brother. So when it comes to the versatility for me, I think this fragrance actually lacks a little bit, because you have to look or feel like a certain instinct to be able to rock this juice at any time, but that's not the case here for everybody, unless you just have a formal job, so you'll be okay with that, and that's gonna be the only occasion when you actually like wear this juice. This is not a casual fragrance, it's lacking points on that. This is not a date fragrance unless your date actually like formal or older guys, so I feel like this one lacks for that as well. This one is not a going out type of a fragrance, so it's lacking on that category as well. So it's lacking on too many categories when it comes to the versatility. That's when it's lacking way too many points for me personally. Performance was pretty solid for the re-release, the 2020 release. I got like around 8 hours, and I honestly couldn't ask for more, and it really projected really well. This one really pushes out your skin, especially when you first spray it on, so you have to be really careful with the amount of sprays you have on with this fragrance. And after the 2-hour mark, it got closer to the skin in a way, but it wasn't a skin scent at all per se, and I was always picking up wafts of it pretty much all day. Every time I move around, I just get that barbershoppy smell. I honestly enjoyed it quite a bit, and I couldn't recommend it more for you guys. This is a must smell for everybody. This is a must test for everybody, so to see how it works on your skin. And before I end this episode, here comes the main question to me. If you really like this fragrance, should you buy the private blend one or the new re-release? And here's the thing, I personally think if you got the money, and especially that the private blend one, you can find it discounted nowadays online, and if you can find a better deal close to this one, I'll go with the private blend. I personally think the private blend smells better, it lasts longer, it's louder, and it's denser. But this one is not a slouch either. This one is pretty great on its own. If you find this one at a better deal, go with this one. So this is pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys again for watching and subscribing and doing all the good stuff. Please make this video what, 300 likes, and I will pick a random subscriber and send them a pretty good goodie bag. So 300 likes equal a great goodie bag. So I want everybody to click that subscribe button. I want everybody to comment down below which one do you like best, the niche version or the private blend version, or the re-release 2020 release. Have you smelled this one yet, and what do you think of it? I'm really pretty curious, bro, and I would like to know. Also, my Instagram is popping, so if you just want to go follow me now on Instagram, it's a must, especially if I make it 300 likes and you win. I'm just gonna announce it on Instagram. You just don't want to miss on that. And this is another week with Note Sponge, and I know Sponge making smelling good always easy. Peace.